Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On Sunday, a 28-year-old Bajrang Dal activist was killed. He was chased down by his assailants and then, with vicious brutality, he was stabbed to death. His injuries were so grave that he barely made it to the hospital. 48 hours after what could perhaps be a hate attack, Karnataka police have arrested 6 people for the murder of Harsha. But the motive for murder is still not clear. Harsha's grieving family says that he was a target of a hate crime, murdered in cold blood, simply because of his ideology and the saffron that he had donned. Listen in to the direct allegations that were made by this youth's family.
ನನಗೇನೋ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಅವನು ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಏನು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಮನೇದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ. ಹೊತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದುತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋರಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಸಮಾಜ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಅವ್ರು ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂದೆ, ಏನು ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂದ. ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸಲು ಕೊಂಡು ಅಂದೆ, ನಾವು ಊಟ ತೊಗೊಂಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದ. ಸರಿ ಪುಟ್ಟ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬೇಗ ಬಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಡುಗರೆಲ್ಲ ಓಡಿ ಬಂದರು. ಆಂಟಿ ಹರ್ಷ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಈಗ ಊಟ ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಕಂಡ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಂಟಿ ಹರ್ಷ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಜನ ಅಂತ. ತಕ್ಷಣ ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಹರ್ಷ ಅಂದು 2 ಸಲ ರಿಂಗ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಫೋನ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಡೆದು ಹೋಗಿತ್ತೇನೋ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
BJP members of parliament, including some state ministers, have tagged Harsha's murder as an act of terror by a radical outfit. Fingers are being pointed in the direction of the Popular Front of India and its affiliates. Surprisingly, the Congress too seems to be on the same page as its political rival, the BJP, about the involvement of the PFI. But not before they used the opportunity to slam the Saffron Party for fanning the fire. Listen in to this war of words.
The last 5-6 years and more than that, in almost a decade or so, radical Islamic terror is spreading its root in Karnataka. Radical Islamic outfits like PFI, KFD, SDPI, they're bringing their Kerala model of terror into Karnataka. It would be extremely wrong to treat this incident as a murder. This is not a murder for gain. This is not a murder for settling personal vendetta. This is an act of terror.
So what is happening in the state of Karnataka today is, one side the SDPI, PFI, they are creating a lot of issues which are unnecessary, not needed by the common people. The other side, the Sangha Parivar, especially all those militant fundamentalist organizations like Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindi Parishad. All these are working towards disharmony in the society because it suits them politically. They grow politically by polarizing the society. And we are very clear that you have to ban all that militant, violent, fundamentalist organizations.
The state police has been maintaining that Harsha's past, his social media posts, personal enmity is all under investigation. But sources within the investigating team have told Times Now that Harsha was attacked because he was active in the hijab controversy. But as the superintendent of police of Shivamogga detailed the role of the 6 accused in the case, he stopped short of calling this a hate crime. Listen in.
A1 Mohammad Qasim, A2 Syed Nadeem, A3 Asifullah Khan, A4 Rihan Sharif, A5 Nihan, A6 Abdul Afnan. ಸೊ ಈಗ A1 ಪಾತ್ರ A1 ಅವನೇ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು, ಕಾಶಿಫ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು 4 ಜನದಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಜನ ಇವತ್ತು ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಸರಿ, 4 ಜನ.
ಸೊ A1, A3, A4 ಮತ್ತೆ A5 ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಉಳಿದೇ ಇರೋರು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. A1, A3, A4, A5 ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. A1, A3, A4, A5 A2 ಮತ್ತೆ A6 ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಪಿರಸಿ ರೋಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ರೋಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question on the NewsHour tonight, is the hate link to murder undeniable? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight, Nupur Sharma, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Syeda Falak, member of the AIMIM. But my first question goes to Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, leader of the Congress party. And Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, I want to ask you this question. No time for a candlelight march, no time to call out this hate crime, because the man who was killed, 28-year-old boy, and look at that mother sitting there, you know, talking about the fact that he was being targeted and people were looking for him. They came even asking for him at the house. And absolutely pin drop silence, because he was wearing saffron. And that really doesn't move the Congress party, because probably the color of that blood is not the same as the other blood that you see.
Navika, that is not the issue out here. Of course, how this young man was killed and who killed him needs to be investigated, needs to be debated, needs to be punished. The perpetrators need to be punished. But the question that I want to discuss today out here is, why was such a young boy killed? That's the moot question today. The hate that is prevalent in this country right from the start of the formation of India, that ideology, the hate ideology that killed the father of the nation, today is prevalent as much as it was there in 1948. This question that I need to ask here, today a young life was snubbed. Previously, Tabriz Ansari issues, there were issues of Pehlu Khan, there were issues of other people, innocent lives, who were killed because of the hate prevalent in the society. Now, you very well know that hate always promotes hate. Now, can we have a candid discussion on the fact that how this hate is becoming so much prevalent in the country, when organizations like the PFI,
Mr. Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't know if it is a coincidence, but you took the name of Pehlu Khan, you took the name of Tabriz, but you didn't take the name of Harsha. Is it a coincidence, or is that the way the mind works? I said in the
first instance. No, it's not a
coincidence. Don't read into my words. You said young man. Harsha, you never said.
Sorry.
You never said his name.
No.
You never said his name. Did anybody hear the name being stated by Mr. Kamruzzuman Chowdhury? Nupur Sharma, did you hear the name?
No.
He said a young man and he was referring
to
tell me,
Navika, one simple question that I want to ask.
Not at all.
If these organizations like the PFI, SDPI, they need to be banned, then they should be banned. Tushar Mehta in the Supreme Court of March 2021
SDPI has allied with you in Kerala, sir.
That we are in the process of banning the PFI.
Gujarat?
Let me come. If there is a process of banning an organization. Now this radical organization, when you have submitted in the Supreme Court that you are going to ban this organization, why till date you have not banned them? Why till date?
Okay.
Now you cannot
Nupur
just
Sharma,
pinpoint a blame on a particular
respond to Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, and also respond to the fact that till such organizations are not banned, the Congress is free to ally with them for electoral gains. You know, that really is the best piece of logic that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, well, two things. Good evening, Navika, to you, to the panelists, and also to your viewers. Two things that I could actually make out from what the Congress spokesperson is saying. Yeah, hate needs to actually be subdued. Hate needs to be defeated. but it's long standing. Whether it's the thousands of Sikhs which were massacred, or it's the multiple, numerous riots in the name of religion which happened when Congress was in power, or perhaps the direct involvement of Congress in these riots and the massacre against Sikhs. Hate needs to actually be curtailed. Whether it is also, I'll borrow the example from, I was on a debate on your channel yesterday from Professor Ranganathan, where it's car sevaks, 56 of them burnt alive in a railway coach. Hate needs to be curtailed. Never mind that there were Congress politicians involved in the burning of the Godhra railway coach. Now what happens is that this person here finds it fit enough. Ulta chor kotwal ko date. Hum to murder karenge sanam. Tumne hamare ko kyun nahi roka? You know, that's downright pits of this country today, and I'm sorry to say, propounded by Mr. Congress politician here. Now, Navika, you know, if you read what the father has complained in the police thana, he has directly said that Muslim miscreants killed my son for his ideology, for his belief, and for his work. And mind you, he has also given the name of nearby areas wherein he says he was repeatedly getting threats, and I'm going to read out. Harsha was getting threats from Muslim youths in MKK Road, KR Puram Road and RL Nagar, which were nearby or in the vicinity of where he resided. And secondly, can you forget that in 2015, a Facebook page called Mangaluru Muslims was continuing to threaten him almost like a fatwa? Or can you forget that he had just recently posted something against the hijab controversy? Or can you allow the Congress to dissociate itself from the hijab controversy, given that one of their senior politicians in the Indian Youth Congress went to the Supreme Court, asking for hijab to be made mandatory in the college, and their UP legal cell in charge for Congress party in UP elections, their lawyer, I think Mr. Kumar, is the one who's actually contesting this case in the Karnataka High Court.
Out here?
So Congress cannot dissociate itself. Congress can also not. I'm not going in whataboutery. I'm saying you are involved.
Important point that
I'm not going in whataboutery. I'm saying you are involved.
Party which is gaining
Forget whataboutery. Navika, may I please complete?
1.5 years from the election,
why is he hyperventilating?
Is the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Daga khol diya.
The more they polarize the society,
why is he
the more they are going to
hyperventilating?
benefit. And
Why is he hyperventilating now?
Whenever there
Can
is a
you forget?
polarization.
Allow me, Navika. I will speak when he is done.
No, you are mixing up things. You are
This is not
bringing
the way to
the
debate.
issues that
that
you feel is convenient to you.
I'm not making up anything.
No.
I am saying you are involved.
Nupurji,
I am saying you are involved. I am saying you have given a stage to PFI and SDPI. You allow them to finance Mewani, who was in your coalition in Gujarat 2017 election. I am saying the prime accused in Prashant Pujari's murder case. Also in Karnataka,
your MLA, sitting MLAs,
with your
calls for genocide. Your poster boys,
Well, Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, I can't really believe that you're saying that these organizations should be banned, the BJP should do it, but till then, it's all right if we have an election alliance with them. I don't know what logic this makes, and it exposes the mindset of the Congress party on electoral issues.
Navika, you are doubting a system out here. The Election Commission of India has recognized SDPI. First you ban the SDPI.
So when you ask for the ban of the PFI, I'm doubting. You ask for the ban of the PFI and I'm doubting the Election Commission of India. You are asking for the ban of the PFI and accusing the BJP of not doing it, and I am doubting the system in India. I don't know which school of logic, what philosophy that the Congress follows today, but I want to get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, have you ever heard such a preposterous logic and argument from anywhere in recent times?
Yes, I have from Mr. Kamruzzuman's leader Rahul Gandhi, but that's besides the point. Good evening, Navika, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. I've been listening very patiently. I hope I would not be interrupted. There are two issues here, and I don't want to digress from the debate at all because it's a very important issue. It's a very serious issue. Number one, when it suits the propagandists and selectivists, they praise and believe the judiciary or the police under the BJP. When it doesn't, the same police become fascists and murderers, and the same judiciary compromise and BJP stooges. So right now, They are saying they believe the Karnataka police because the police has not come out and said categorically that Harsha's murder is linked to hijab or is a hate crime. So they won't believe the parents in this case. They will believe the fascist police under the BJP. Like remember how they believed the fascist Delhi police when it said that the missing Najib from JNU had not joined ISIS. But when it didn't suit them, they believed the parents. Like in the case of Navreet Singh, whose tractor slammed into a police barricade on Republic Day last year and he died. But these propagandists said that fascist Delhi police had shot him. Remember the Lakhimpur incident, Navika, when the jeep mowed down the protesters? There, these same propagandists suddenly believed the fascist UP police and the SIT of it, because it said it was a pre-planned conspiracy and not an accident. Remember the lynching of Nupur Sharma last year, where the police said there was no communal ankle, but Rinku's parents insisted it was otherwise? And the strange thing was, those who had barely 2 weeks earlier believed the parents over the police on the death of Navreet Singh, now believe the police over the parents. In Navreet's case, the police was communal. In Rinku's case, it was secular. I wonder what it would be called in this case in a week's time, when the investigation is complete. Likewise for the judiciary. When Justice Devani overturned Maya Kodnani's trial court conviction and acquitted her, they called him a BJP stooge and a villain. But when the same judge overturned the trial court acquittal of 3 Hindus in the Viramgram riots case and convicted them, they called him a hero. Point number 2, very briefly, Navika. If this is indeed a case of punishment for blasphemy, and it appears to be so, given that a fatwa against Harsha was proclaimed 7 years ago for his alleged comment against Allah and Prophet Muhammad, then I am afraid the writing was on the wall. Nothing could have been done. Harsha was a dead man walking. Just like Kishan, just like Kamlesh Tiwari, because Allah has specifically ordered that those who abuse Allah and His Messenger, Allah has cursed them in this world and the hereafter and prepared for them a humiliating punishment, 3357. And that the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger is that they be killed or crucified 533. We have seen it all before, Navika.
Please,
From Rajpal, who published Rakila Rasool,
you cannot
to
speak
Kamlesh
about
Tiwari,
any religion
whose death was demanded by millions in
I want to ask Syeda Falak. 1 minute, Kamruzzuman Chowdhury Sahab. 1 minute. You have all the freedoms of choice, of expression, of speaking on anything. But Dr. Anand Ranganathan does not.
What hateful ideology killed Kamlesh Tiwari? Ask Kamruzzuman. अगर हिम्मत है तो बता दो कमरुज़्ज़मान.
No, what ideology killed Pehlukhan? What ideology killed Tabriz Ansari?
Now, he
Can you please tell me?
Just 5 seconds ago, he was
What
saying
about me? You are doing what about me? You
now
don't have
he is
any
indulging in
logic.
what about me?
I
asked him.
more Muslims.
As a Congressman, I will not want to abuse any other religion.
1 minute. I want to get in Vivek Srivastava. 1 minute, Kamruzzuman Chowdhury. I'm sorry, I haven't invited you alone to the debate. There are other people who need to get a word in, and Vivek Srivastava.
It took 5 seconds. Please, I want to ask him a simple question.
Okay.
He was talking about Navika, we are prisoners of hateful ideology that killed Harsha. I want to ask him, Mr. Kamruzzuman, what hateful ideology killed Kamlesh Tiwari? What hateful ideology beheaded him? And don't talk of what about...
All right, respond, Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, to the pointed question asked by Anand Ranganathan. Who killed, which ideology killed Kamlesh Tiwari?
That is the exact point that I want this debate to proceed. Navika, the basic point that I wanted to discuss here in your debate today was exactly this, the question that Anandji has asked just now. What ideology killed Kamlesh Tiwari? The same hate ideology that killed Tabriz Ansari. The same hate ideology that killed Pehlukhan. That same hate ideology that has divided India on religious and sectarian lines.
So you're saying hate killed Harsha? You're saying hate killed Harsha?
All those organizations.
Are you admitting hate killed Harsha?
If it is so, yes. If the investigation...
if the investigation... Pehlukhan's case, in Pehlukhan's case and Tabriz's case, did they wait for the investigation to end before declaring it a hate crime, Anand Ranganathan?
Navika, I have really now caught the rat's tail, probably metaphorically speaking. Now, Kamruzzuman, please don't interrupt. I didn't interrupt. Please. Thank you so much. Navika, I am going to take 15 seconds. I want to quote someone. And then I will ask one of your panelists who is representing AIMIM, who said this. And I'm quoting this, quote, वो जालिम, वो कुत्ता जो उत्तर प्रदेश में बैठकर अल्लाह की शान में गुस्ताखी किया, याद रख, तू आज जेल में है, मगर दुनिया तेरे लिए चूहे के बिल की तरह बन जाएगी इंशाअल्लाह. तेरी गुस्ताखी ने तेरी अपनी बर्बादी को दावत दी है. He said this about Kamlesh Tiwari. And a few weeks later, Kamlesh Tiwari was beheaded. Now I ask again, not just one Congress panelist, but the AIMIM panelist. Which hateful ideology killed Kamlesh Tiwari?
Syeda Falak ji, jawab dijiye.
Yesterday, BJP MLA Raghavendra Singh, during the UP election campaigning, said that any Hindu who doesn't vote for BJP is not a Hindu. He has in his vein. There is Muslim blood. If any Muslim sees,
why don't you respond to the question? Why don't you respond to the question first?
I am responding. BJP is responsible for every hate being spread in India nowadays.
This was Owaisi who said it. How is Owaisi
BJP is responsible for every hate being spread in India, all over India, just because elections are going on. Continuously.
And this statement doesn't account for anything. And this statement that was just stated by Dr. Anand Ranganathan doesn't account for anything. Nupur Sharma, जब ये कहते हैं, when they say in Hyderabad, Akbaruddin Owaisi comes out and says 10 minute के लिए पुलिस हटा दो, remove the police for 10 minutes and then see how we will behave and how we will destroy 100 crore. That is not hate. But what the BJP does is hate. Respond, Nupur Sharma, to Syeda Falak. 1 minute. Syeda ji, calm down. Nupur is responding. Nupur ji.
Navika, two of the leaders, Junior Owaisi and Waris Pathan, have come on record to say that we are going, हम भारी पड़ जाएंगे, हम 15-20 करोड़ मुसलमान, तुम 100 करोड़ हिंदू को मजा चखा देंगे, तुम 15 मिनट के लिए पुलिस हटा दो, हम तुम्हें जवाब देंगे. प्रोफेसर आनंद रंगनाथन ने बताया ओवैसी ने क्या कहा, that is not it. ये तस्लीमा नसरीन को पीट के वापस भगा दिया, that is not it. ये दुनिया भर के अंदर दंगाई फैलाते पड़ते हैं, that is not it. ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करते हैं, that is not it. बीजेपी जो कर रही है, that is it. Navika, I can't debate like this. You can't allow everybody to heckle me. I'll be quiet otherwise. I'll be quiet. I'm sorry. You can't give my time to these two rabble-rousers. These two people are rabble-rousers on your debate representing the Congress and the AIMIM. I'm not interrupting anybody. Why are they heckling everybody?
All right. I'll give.
No, I can't. You're a rabble-rouser. You're a hate monger. I'm saying it to you.
I will give 45 seconds to both of you. Make your point, Nupur. I'm lowering the fader of Salma ji, Syeda ji, and then after that she can respond. Nupur.
Now, as for Mr. Chowdhury from Congress party, Mr. Chowdhury, it's a bit rich. Junaid, I think, Pehlu, was a case of smuggling, which is it's a crime according to the Indian law. And secondly, Junaid was about a railway berth. If every crime for you is a hate crime, then where are the awards which have to be returned? Award Vapsi 2.0, where is the not in my name protest? Where is the Sahi Shunta debate? Why don't we hear that for any Hindu who's being murdered? And look at the modus operandi. Simply put, Navika, चाकू से मारा है multiple times. The same way Ankit Sharma, the IB officer, was killed. The same way Prashant Pujari was murdered. The same way Sachin, Gopal, Vishal were murdered. And in all these cases, the missing link is PFI. PFI what? The prime accused in Prashant Pujari murder case, Abhay Chandra Jain, a sitting minister in the Karnataka government under Siddaramaiah, was sharing the dais with him while he was a prime accused and contesting the case before the courts of law. So this is the Congress party, and I'm not indulging in any whataboutery. I'm saying you are directly involved because you have given enough fuel to the fire of hijab being made compulsory and mandatory in colleges. Unheard of in the past 4-5 decades. In the same college for 35 years, there was no law for hijab. All of a sudden in December 2021, why? Because आपका वजूद शून्य है, चुनाव चल रहे हैं, you need a few seats. Otherwise, you will be relegated to nonsense zero, maybe -1, -2 seats. That's the reality of Congress party, and you are indulging in this divide and rule politics, indulging in this minority appeasement.
Kamruzzuman Chowdhury,
that's why
45 seconds to you respond to Nupur Sharma before I get in Vivek Srivastava.
Yeah, thank you. Nupur Sharma's statement just now does not lack any substance. She wants to pin all the blame on the Congress party, where in fact the point that is here is, does the Bharatiya Janata Party endorse any form of killings based on religion and sectarian?
Why don't you answer the question she has asked you? Why are you running away from the question she has raised? Was the PFI man with Siddaramaiah as a member of your government or not? Answer that question. Yes or no? Simple question.
Of course.
Of course. So,
Navika, you let me.
10 seconds.
You let me, if Siddaramaiah ji has said something, that's a fact. He represents the party line. He represents the party line.
Well, he had the...
Navika,
Dr. Anand Ranganathan, either Mr. Kamruzzuman Chowdhury is pretending not to understand the question, or he's pretending not to answer the question, or he's pretending he doesn't know Siddaramaiah ji, or he's pretending he doesn't know the Congress line.
Navika, 30 seconds. With due respect to my good friend Mr. Chowdhury and my great friend Nupur, I have to say in my first installment, I vociferately disagreed with Mr. Chowdhury. But he has a point and I agree with him. And here, may I please disagree with my good friend Nupur, because भाई सरकार कौन सी है? बीजेपी की. अगर आप PFI को इतनी गालियां दे रहे हैं, तो उसको बैन करिए ना. Mr. Chowdhury has a point. Simi was banned. Why is PFI not banned? When all the ex-Simiites have joined PFI. And
respond.
10 seconds.
Respond, Nupur Sharma.
No, I just want to end. Nupur, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Yeah, I know. Just 5 seconds. You know, PFI and SDPI nearly killed your great friend Tejasvi Surya. They came to kill him. They could not find him at a rally, anti-CA rally or CA rally. They nearly killed an RSS worker. And you know how much they charged for that? 10,000 each. 60,000 के लिए वो लोगों को मारने को तैयार हैं. अभी भी बैन नहीं है. तो मिस्टर चौधरी का पॉइंट जायज है. नुपुर,
respond.
No, Anand, I am. There are two things. First and foremost, Mr. Chaudhary, I completely agree with you. I do not lag in substance. You know.
No, Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, it's not your turn. The question is to Nupur. She is responding. Hold your horses.
Mr. Chaudhary, I completely agree with you. I do not lack in any substance. So thank you for agreeing with me. Now, Anand, ban Simi, all the members join PFI. Ban PFI, another outlet comes about. Can you forget that in 2018, there was a ban by a state government? And what happened in the High Court? The High Court did not uphold it dismissed the ban. It did away with the ban. It said this organization, PFI, does not require a ban. So you tell me practically, if today we ban PFI, a new outfit will mushroom. The point is to ensure that fundamentalism or Kattarwadi Mansikta is completely uprooted from this country. I am not saying. No. They are already banned. They are already banned.
No.
Allow me.
But then Nupur Sharma, the question to you is, you are in government at the center. You have to find a solution to this. That's why you are in governance.
Trust the government of the day and trust the Solicitor General. If he's made a statement before the courts of law, we are working towards banning the outfit. Trust you me, we are working towards banning the outfit. And if anybody is going to come here and say we are not taking action against the culprits of the Harsha murder case, 12 were picked up, 6 are under arrest, and all 6 don't happen to be Sharmas or Ranganathans or Trivedis or Kumars or Bhatiyas or Bansals or what have you. The fact is, let the intention, because everybody said whether it's a hate crime or not, let the mens rea come about, let the evidence come about, let PFI come about,
Syeda Falak and Kamruzzuman Chowdhury coming in, Syeda Falak and Kamruzzuman Chowdhury coming in. Mr. Chowdhury, what's your dissent?
Point out here is, let us be united today in this debate, in banning all the radical organizations in the country, If need be the PFI.
When have you ever united on anything? Even on COVID, you did not unite with the government, sir. Even on the vaccination issue, you did not unite with the government. Why are you making these motherhood statements? Why are you making these motherhood statements when you yourself have fanned the hijab fire? Today you are making these motherhood statements?
No, cow ban, hijab ban, triple talaq ban, all this is fine. Navika, you are such a reputed anchor. Can I please suggest you start the show, you tell the country, people of this country, let us all ban all the radical elements, radical organizations.
Well, then, in that case, Kamruzzuman Chowdhury, why don't you tell?
Congress will be
why
banned.
don't you tell your leader, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, to at least talk to the non-radicals like us? He doesn't even talk. He thinks we are the radicals. He doesn't think PFI is the radical. He, in fact, has alliances with the SDPI and the PFI. He does not have an alliance with anybody who's not talking radical. So, before you begin to preach, preach within your party. But Syeda Falak, I want to ask you tonight, is it a complete coincidence that all those who have been named and arrested, 6 of them, they all belong to one particular religion?
See, I strongly condemn Harsha's murder,
yes,
all his murderers. Now. Why? I have told it yesterday itself. I have told it many times. I have condemned it many times. I strongly condemn Harsha's murder and the murderer should be punished. But let me clear, it has no hijab angle. It happened out of hatred.
How do you know, ma'am? How do you know, ma'am?
Are you
privy to the investigation? Are the investigations being sent to you?
Please let me continue. Police till now has not given a clarification that it has hijab issue. In fact, police suspect that it is because of the past criminal record. Harsha was involved in at least 5 assault and attempt to murder
if somebody has, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody has a past criminal record, then he definitely deserves to be stabbed. And if he's wearing a saffron scarf, if he's wearing a saffron scarf to boot and belongs to the Bajrang Dal, then this stabbing should be done in full public view. Is that what you're saying, Salma?
Is that what you're saying? I'm not telling that.
Insinuating that.
No. I'm not telling that. I'm just trying to clear a point that it has no hijab.
Your point, Navika, 10 seconds.
Police suspect that
Nupur Sharma,
it has involvement of the past criminal record.
Nupur Sharma, past criminal record.
This lady here on a debate 2 hours earlier was saying 4 case the. Well, the fact of the law in India is that with Harsha's passing, the allegations also against him die. But what is interesting is, if Harsha, agar aap usko justify kar rahe ho, his murder, then please say that Pehlu Khan's murder was also justified. Why make a hue and cry about it? Because after all, he was engaging in illegal smuggling. The unfortunate part is that the prime accused, no, you are nobody to say that. The police never said that there was no hijab angle. Stop trying
ladies and gentlemen, I just want to end on the very somber note. Just think of the family of Harsha. They did not belong to any ideology except being parents of a young 28-year-old. Now the cases, the past cases, the personal enmities, all sorts of things are coming in. Even an explanation being made that Facebook post against hijab was made, but that's not the reason for the killing, even before the investigation is over. Why is this lobby so ready to believe and give so many different reasons that Harsha could have died for? Why the same reasons are not given when there are other such hate crimes? Is there different strokes for different folks, different law for Hindus, and different laws for those minorities that suit the lobby which is looking for an agenda to target the BJP? That's the question we need to ask. And we need to hope that Harsha gets justice sooner than later. We owe it to his family, his crying and wailing mother and father. Thank you very much to my panelists and to you viewers for joining me on debate number 1. Taking a short break, the Ukraine-Russia face-off on the other side.